turn my phone off.
I'll say fuck or bugger.
And this is the main one, so I've got to get all your faces in. I'm shit at driving around Manchester, so if I end up going around same little tiny bit 100 times, is that right?
I can direct you. Have you got a route planned?
No.
No.
Nothing. Only just a few things. There's a little thing. This is what I'm talking about. So, first saw you supporting October Drift ages ago at Leadmill. No longer the best unsigned band out there because you signed.
Well.
Connect a little bit about James. It's not been all plain sailing. Frustration of being. Were you dropped before you were Slow Readers Club?
No.
No, we never signed.
Never had a label.
Weren't you signed to a label before that?
No.
Oh, Neil Hargreaves is full of shit.
No,
I asked him for a question about you. Because I know he'd known you for a while.
No,
is that not right? Oh,
no,
right.
we
Okay, fair
only
enough.
ever release stuff. Like,
We've always been self-released.
Yeah. So,
Right,
like,
fair enough.
If we use the label, it's because we asked, you know, a mate or someone who had a label name that we could just release under. It wasn't,
right, okay.
Yeah, we never signed a deal. We've always. I think this next album be our first one, won't it? Where it's.
Yeah, well, it's
Have people asked you that before? Is it?
No,
would that be something of interest to talk about?
I'll
okay, fair.
put people straight.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, you do it.
Yeah.
Tips for bands, choosing the right management company, that kind of stuff. I like to have something useful for younger bands to look at and get tips from you established guys. The new album, obviously. And then I've just put end venues closing in Manchester, just something to fill in if we need more time.
Yeah.
But usually I usually do 2 parts of 10 minutes. Clint Boone rattled on for 40 minutes, bless him, and we got it down to 20 minutes.
Right, okay.
So it doesn't really matter if it's over, we can edit it and that.
Okay.
But yeah, is there anything specifically? I know you want to mention album and that, but when's it out?
Early
May, we think.
Early May.
Can I just go and grab? I think I've got to get something signed for a fan out of the car, and if I don't, I'll forget. So let me grab it now. And at least it's right.
I've got a bottle of water in my car that I need to remember later. So.
You got that last night?
Pardon?
Oh, your birthday the other day, weren't it, or something?
Yeah.
Did you have a party last night? Or?
No. Just kids.
Oh, fair enough.
What's up?
He's just asking if I was partying last night.
Are you partying?
No.
Were you partying last night?
Oh, yeah, partying watching Lethal Weapon 2.
Ah.
That's partying, then I was fucking, that's it.
It's mad being able to see yourself actually.
That look alright. Yeah, you're a bit dark if you look forward and that. If that's alright, mate. Just usually I've got these cameras helping me out here, but I've got stuff in the way. Right then, welcome to a new Rate Good road trip with me, Carl Maloney from RGM, Rate Good magazine. It's an absolute pleasure to be joined in this electric car down in Manchester with Slow Readers Club.
Hello.
All right, lads.
Hiya.
Alright.
Mate, you all right?
I'm good.
Good. It's I just want to say a big thank you, just officially, just for joining me on a Sunday morning over in Salford, just having a little chill and a chat, because you've had an amazing journey as a band, and I want to kind of get to the bottom of that. But I just wanted to mention, I've been a fan of the band for a while. I first saw you guys support October Drift in Sheffield at the Leadmill.
Right.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
Where would you start with Slow Readers Club? What kind of relationship have you both got with the band? Did you both join at the same time? Or?
Well,
me and Aaron.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, well, Jim was in a band with a few mates. Were you all motor before I joined?
I think so.
Yeah. And they put an ad in the paper basically for a singer, and I came along and auditioned. And
yeah.
But no one else came. So.
Oh, right. Okay. Fair enough.
I got the job.
So, were you doing solo stuff before yourself?
No. Well, I'd written bits and bobs through uni and stuff like that. And I just like drinking too much basically. And
Okay.
And just, to be honest, we had a few singers though, just to set the record straight, and he was by far the best one. and we got on with him the most as well.
So what made you think, fuck it, I'm going to be a singer?
I'd always sung in school, and I just I just always enjoyed it. I never really wrote until I thought about writing until I was at uni and that. And And then when I got with these guys, it was then another level again, kind of thing. But yeah, Omerta did okay. We did a couple of releases through Northern Ambition, which was a mate of mine, Rob Allen.
Yeah.
Got right here.
We did, and we did that basically because we had at the time we had label interest from Sony and people like that, and they were like
that early.
Well, yeah, and they said, "Oh, release something on an indie."
Yeah.
So we were like, okay. So I rang my mate and went, "Can we release something on your label?" And he said, "Yeah." It was as simple as that.
Because a lot of Slow Readers fans, when you're reading when you're looking through the fan group on Facebook, which is great, the way that you interact with your fans, by the way, just on there, I think it's brilliant, just from looking, and that as one of them. But you're no longer the best unsigned band out there in the world, are you?
Well, no, we have got
the Slow Readers fans like saying that, don't they? That's about the best unsigned band in the world type thing.
Well, you can still say that.
Yeah. We're just the best band in the world now. So. But,
I like that.
But we've got a deal now. So I mean, we slugged away at it for a long time, playing. Yeah. You know, touring and sometimes playing to like 10 people, sometimes playing to the bar staff and stuff like that. And you've got to work through that stuff and try and keep faith in what you're doing. And then we got we built up to a decent level in Manchester. We did like Gorilla, which was like 600 people or something, sold that out, and we'd done Academy 3 before that. Yeah. And then we got offered the James tour, and then that gave us an audience round the UK. And like after that we were selling out the Ritz and then Albert Hall, and then we got a record deal. So we've already got to
done it all, haven't you?
Got to the level where we're doing Albert Hall. So we'll see what happens.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. I'm being directed because I'm in Manchester and I ain't got a clue where I'm going. But I am moving to Manchester later this year, so I've got to get used to this. Moving to the big city.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, when I've done these things before and I've spoke to people that have been through the music industry and they've had record deals, what does a record deal mean? Because to a lot of bands it can feel like a holy grail. Does it feel that way to you? Does it shape up that way?
I mean, there's a few things that have fallen into place for us last year. So we had management, agent, all the sort of machinery that you have, and all the machinery that normal established bands have. We've now got in place, but before we were doing it all ourselves. So we would well, we were working with initially Scruff and Neck in helping us with tours. Before that, we were working with Neil Hargreaves, the October Drift that you mentioned before, that you managed them. We did Crystal Bar for Tramlines with him a few years. So we before we were working with
amazing gigs. I was at both of those.
Cheers,
yeah, definitely.
We built, and there was guys double denim in Leeds as well. So we did our best to sort of have a look around at other cities and see what promoters were doing good things in the different cities. So we did that initially. And then Scruff.
That's a clever decision to make anyway, when you're looking out of town, because bands just like the idea of playing out of town and they'll just pick anything. Yeah. But you made the decision to research what people are doing before choosing.
Yeah.
Good tip for bands there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Because if you go to a city where you've got a promoter's built a reputation, or they've got a night that's got a good reputation, then you do get music lovers turning up to see what's going on, basically. And not just people bringing gangs of mates and that's it kind of thing.
Yeah, clever.
It just gives you more chance of being in front of people, new people basically, which is what you want to do.
Yeah, brilliant. So you briefly mentioned the tour with James as taking the name more out of the Manchester and the North, more nationwide. So how did that relationship with James, the band, how did that start, and what happened there?
It started from a tweet from them actually.
Video
me and Kurt went to did a thing for Matter of Sound, a YouTube channel with a lady called Hattie Pearson, who was DJing on Radio XFM as it was at the time. Yeah. And she'd had her own YouTube channel where she'd get bands to do gigs in unusual places. So they'd had the lottery winners do it on the Metrolink and no, it wasn't the Metrolink.
I love the lottery
winners. They got signed, didn't they, to Warner's or something? But
I saw him support the Wonder stuff a few times at Manchester Academy. Miles on would champion him, and he always had him on it. All the gigs, and saw him in Sheffield. Yeah, cool.
I've not seen him live actually, but I know I've sort of seen him on Twitter and stuff. But so we did a gig at Central Library, and at the time we had a track called I Saw a Ghost that was quite new. Yeah. And me and my brother just turned up and did this thing in the reading room bit, this massive sort of dome bit in the middle, and then it was kicking around for a year or so. I wanted that video.
It was about a while, yeah.
And then James tweeted it. Jim Glennie from James tweeted it saying, "Get on this track," kind of thing. And we're like, Jesus Christ. So just went, Matt, like, we posted it on our social media going, this is mad. And then there's a guy that writes about us a lot, and he's supported us for years, David Brown in Manchester, writes for has a blog called Even the Stars. Yeah. And I knew that he wrote sleeve notes for James and knew them well and had followed them. So I said, we need to get a CD to him. And then we did a gig at Crafted Beer Festival at, what's that place?
Yeah.
And we gave a CD to David Brown with a note in it saying we'd love to support you, and just through luck for us that they'd got a new album coming out, and a couple of weeks later we heard from the management offering us 14 dates, Brixton Academy, and then later
and he ended up at Arena playing with
and Echo Arena as well.
That wasn't originally on the plan though. That was they just said that to us after, I think we did about 3 or 4 shows with them, and Saul came to see us after we played a gig. Because Saul, like, he'd stand at the side of the stage and watch our set and everything like that, and you know, we'd be filming it sometimes on his iPad, and then he came to us and just said, right, you know, we want you to play the arena with us if we can fit you on at the start. Go left here. He didn't say go left here. And then he said, so he said, you know, we want you to play, and then we were like, right, you know, cool. And then Liverpool came from the same sort of thing, didn't it? So I think they'd seen us and then thought, I don't know, we'll give them a chance at the arena.
As a failed musician myself, just I have dreams still about, like, entering the stage and wondering what it's like backstage at arena gigs, and just what is it like? What's the excitement like when you can hear that hum of a big fuck off arena?
It's crazy, yeah. I mean, to be honest, when we played, there was probably about 2,000-3,000 people in there, and they were dotted around.
Right, fair enough.
But so it was. I mean, we did Castlefield Arena after that. That was proper. That was 8,000 people with them. But I mean, it was still amazing. And when watching, we went up to watch them from the back in a box, you know. Yeah. And when they were playing, that was phenomenal. I mean. Yeah, it's a good venue, isn't it? But it's, I don't know. I think when we were, you know, for years we've been at it. There's been many a time we've chatted in the practice room, going, you know, if we only could get on with a band, get a break or whatever, or get more radio. You know, every band has those conversations going. You just need one thing that's going to be a catalyst for you, and that was fortunately happened for us. And then through them we met the Charlatans, and we've done a bit with the Charlatans and stuff, and then. This is another thing about being a bit savvy, is, like, you know, looking for promoters and stuff. Last year, Jesus and Mary Chain announced their tour, and on their poster I could see who their agent was and stuff. So I found their agent and I emailed the agent and said, we supported James last year. Yeah. We'd be good to support you, big fans, and we got to support.
Great tip there, bands. You know, take note.
But we've now got an agent who does that properly.
Yeah.
But it's not as sort of DIY as it was, but. Yeah, it's you just have to be a bit savvy with shit like that.
My next question were around, like, talking about the struggle of being in a band and being signed and being dropped, because I had the perception that you'd been through that process, but apparently you haven't. You did it in a slightly different way. So just talk us a little bit about your experiences of the early days, and
it's always been
flirting with the idea of having a label and not.
Yeah, well, it's always been a fairly DIY. Like I said, like the Omerta days, it was. My mate ran a label called Northern Ambition. He'd released an EP for a guy called Stephen Fretwell, who did quite well in Manchester. I think was it Pioneers as well, somebody else. But he did a few releases for us. Yeah. We had like Lamac Play and stuff like that back in the day, but it didn't break through. You know, we weren't anywhere near where we are now in terms of numbers and gigs and things like that. So. There was no being signed or being dropped. Really, we just released through my mate's label, and that was it.
So that the first album, the Slow Readers Club album?
The first album was actually released on the again, just Extenso, it was it was a guy that was involved in the first album give us a bit of money to help us out with the first album. We just went, right, well, we'll just what should we call the label? And Extenso was his name. It was like there was no real.
Yeah.
You know, no disrespect, but there was no real record label.
And was that the same with Cavalcade as well?
Yep.
Cavalcade, same.
Yeah. So they were both self-released, really.
The next album is
we ordered
the
CD
one on our actual label.
Yeah, we ordered the CDs ourselves. Ordered did the artwork ourselves. Ordered the vinyl ourselves.
Well, Cavalcade was my first experience of listening to you guys on the live one, and then I ended up listening to the first one after that. After seeing you supporting Octoberdrift, Neil just said to me, "Jump on Cavalcade, you'll," and I think it was 4 months solid. It was getting to the point where I started to hate the album because I'd listened to it that much.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
But it honestly just 24 hours a day, just all the time, just absolutely amazing album.
Bet you know better than we do.
I might do actually. I might do. But yeah, an amazing album. So yeah, originally thought you were dropped, but that's not true. So am I going right or left here?
You can go straight on.
Straight on. Here we go. We're in the heart of Manchester. Any sites that we're passing in a bit? Anything emoting any emotions
we're
between you
crossing
guys?
Deansgate now, and then we're going to pass Albert Hall on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Oh, where you played? Yeah.
Central Library after that as well.
Yeah.
Which one was the live one? Was that the library or was that the live album you made?
The live one was in the library.
Yeah,
library,
that's right. Yeah. The just around the corner here is 42nd Street as well, the indie club.
We played there. No, we played the venue.
Yeah, we played the venue.
Rate Good magazine. We've just started doing gigs in Manchester now. We're putting gigs on at Gulliver's.
All right, cool.
And the little castle just on Oldham Street
right,
there. So, and we're moving to Manchester, so we're going to be doing a lot more stuff in Manchester. So Manchester bands, contact Rate Good magazine. We want to hear from you because we want to do loads of stuff and new exciting stuff like this with you guys in Manchester as well. Little advert there, why not? Do you feel, because it was your birthday the other day, Aaron?
Yeah.
39, are you?
Yeah.
That's what Facebook's telling me.
Yeah. I have to change that.
I'm 39, and you've made it later on in your life. Do you feel like you're a better band for doing it, for having the success later in your life than like in your early 20s?
You've not made it yet, though.
No.
Well, being established and selling out gigs, and you're on the way type thing.
Yeah. I don't know when you feel as though you've made it, really, do you? But I think we were talking. Me and Kate were talking about this the other day. Actually, we all were, but and talking about the when you're not working to deadlines as such with the album and that, you know, like Cavalcade was recorded over 2 years, really.
Yeah.
Your quality control gets better, and the fact that we're older and we're better writers probably for it. I mean, having said that, these bands that get signed when they're young and then end up crap, don't they? So when they're older. So, but
too many of them. Too many of them. Yeah.
But I think we've got. I'm happy with where we're at.
Yeah.
Artistically and performance-wise, we're better than we've ever been.
Yeah.
So, and that's probably why we're doing all right now. You know, everything's sort of slotted into place, and we cut our teeth in those. Cut our teeth touring ourselves, and then with James, you knew what you need.
James is a big change for performance-wise, wasn't it? Because as far as
having a bigger stage to get out there,
having more to do or more space on stage instead of just being stuck.
Because you've been doing the bigger festival stages as well, haven't you? So I presume getting used to the bigger stages.
Exactly. I mean, there's been many a times in Manchester where I've seen bands that are like they're performing as though they're playing Wembley when they're playing to 10 people and that. And I've always found it a little bit fucking stupid. But having said that, in a way, I wish I'd rehearsed a little bit of that, because when we did the first gigs with James, I was like, shit. I was a bit like, and I developed into owning the stage a little bit more over time, but personally, anyway.
How was that manifested? So you said like owning the stage. It's like a cliche thing to say, isn't it? But what is that? What's that mean?
There's a little bit of, once the fans are familiar as well. It's a little bit. It's a relationship that has to happen naturally. Do you know what I mean? If I'm not getting anything back from the crowd, then I'll not give much myself.
Yeah.
So it's like it's got to go two ways, and if I've got people absolutely buzzing, then you're out there over. And like we did Hebden Bridge last week. last week.
Yeah.
Edinburgh and Bury Met, the independent venue week,
Yeah.
were absolutely unbelievable. Like it was a proper party.
Yeah.
And to say that's like it was a 10th of the capacity of
Edinburgh was
Albert Hall.
200 people.
Yeah. So it's but the energy was incredible. Like they were comparable to it for me in terms of like which was my favourite gig. It was top.
Yeah, brilliant.
But we'll just go on. I mean, it was there was the first gigs back after Christmas. I was thinking, what if we've lost our energy from last year?
What, just Christmas took its toll? Right, fair enough. Is there so what kind of tips would you give a band that are they've just passed the stage where they're playing to the mates, they're picking up a bit of a crowd, they're getting a bit of the name themselves with promoters and things, people are after them? What type of hints and tips would you give a band choosing the right promotional company or management team? What kind of pitfalls have you seen and learned from? And
just get out there and gig. And like, you know, a few years ago Kurt was outside gigs at the Arena and the Apollo giving out CDs.
Yeah.
So and the amount of people we've had recently at gigs who come up to us at the end and said, the first time I'd heard of you was when I got this CD off some random person when I was queuing outside the Apollo. Wow. And that would have been Kurt, or I think you might have done it with him.
Yeah, I think it was mainly Kurt and my dad was doing it back in those days as well.
So just like basics, get write songs, record them, but write songs for yourself as well, you know, like write what you like playing. Don't try and write anything where you're just trying to latch onto some kind of scene or anything like that, because then you're not sort of being true to yourself, are you? And just play gigs, get out there playing, and the more you're playing, even if you're playing to 10 people and 6 of them are from another band, those 6 people might like you, and then they might be at your next gig and they might bring 2 mates each. And that's what we found, especially since the James tour. People have come back and brought mates,
all the mates with
them. And then people have come back and brought their mates and their mates. And Aaron's great on social media as well.
I love the videos that you do before gigs when there's people walking around the backstage bit and then they follow you on stage when you play. I love that. Nobody's doing that, and it's such a simple thing to do, isn't it? To engage your fans and get them involved that can't make the gig that's sold out. They still feel like they're there, and you interact with them as well, don't you? And that's great.
I mean, I've seen other bands do. We've not invented that, but but it's
you do it well.
No, thank you. Cheers. And it's the fan page, like you said, is ridiculous. Like because we've got like 20,000 likes on the main page, but the fan page is like they've asked to join that page. There's like 2,500 people. That's just mental.
Straight.
But I think going back to advice to the band, it's just we found that half of it can be perception as well. Like as soon as you do a tour, and people see you touring, get something out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand a lot of bands. Maybe we weren't right to release the first album, or even the second album ourselves.
Yeah.
Maybe you did. Maybe you should hold back and wait for the deal, but you might find yourself waiting too long. You know, it's just put your music in the world for me.
YouTube. You've got SoundCloud. It's not difficult to get something on Spotify. Just get on the internet and read up on how you might get